everybody. It is Laura Key, the Realty Goddess. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new to me, please make sure that you hit that subscribe or follow button, and you will find beautiful and wonderful tips about buying, selling, investing, design, anything that has to do with real estate. You're going to find it here on my channel, and I'm happy to have you. So thank you for taking the time to spend with me. Today, we're going to talk about something that is extremely relevant in the market. Today is what is today? Today is the 29th of March, and it's 2022. It is considered a seller's market. So before we go any further, I want to tell you what our topic is. And the topic is how to win the winning bidding war on your next house. Now, before we do that, let's talk about markets. There are three types of markets. There is a seller's market where the inventory is low and the sellers are the bee's knees. And when they put their home on the market, all the buyers come and lay everything out for them. This is not the time where you can ask for a lot of things from the sellers, like closing costs or any additional help with buying the house, because the sellers have all the superpowers. So that is a seller's market. A buyer's market is when there is a lot of inventory and the sellers are desperate to sell their home, and they may pay your closing costs. They may do any fixings of the house that you ask for. They may even leave a little furniture for you. That is a market where you can get the most as a buyer. Then there's a third market, which is what I call the seesaw market, which is a neutral market. And that's when it's kind of even. You're kind of switching, and you may have more power as a buyer to get a few things, but maybe not as much as you would get as a buyer in a buyer's market. So how on earth do you win when you are competing against 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and in some cases, I'm literally not kidding, I had a listing that had well over 55 offers in a seller's market. How do you win? Well, you must be strategic. And first of all, you must have a very educated and positive and strategic real estate agent. They will help guide you through this procedure to help you win. So some of the things I'm going to share with you are a little controversial, and I will tell you that if I like them or not, but they're actually things that you could do. So after months and months of searching, you finally find a house, you're ready to put an offer on it, and you are competing against multiple offers. And sometimes you're actually competing against cash. I will tell you, I have beat out cash offers in this market. So I don't want you to get discouraged if you see that cash buyers are also throwing their hat in the ring. If you tighten up some things, you just may be the winner of this home. So the first thing I want you to understand that is extremely important, and I say this with a mega heart, you must have your pre-approval letter ready. And honestly, it really and truly needs to be an underwritten letter, which means you have gone through underwriting with your lender, and basically you're just looking for the house. This is your power card. This is your Willy Wonka golden ticket. Do not go out looking for homes if you're not pre-approved. And I don't mean pre-qualified, because pre-qualified means nothing. You can tell a lender, I make $100,000 a year and I don't have any payments on anything. And they'll say, oh, you're approved for $500,000. But when they start asking you for the documentation, you don't have the proof to show them that. So you need a complete pre-approval. And to be smart, you want a directly underwritten letter. All of my clients have been DU, and it helps them to get these homes. If you had two of the same offers on the table, and one was directly underwritten and one just was a pre-approval, your directly underwritten one would most likely win out in that situation. 2, you got to make the highest offer. This one's a little controversial because I don't necessarily believe that in its capacity. I have beat out with my clients higher offers because our terms are much better. And we're going to talk about that as well. So don't get discouraged. Just make your highest and best at the beginning. Don't come around playing and expect them to give you a counter offer. In many cases right now, listing agents and sellers are not giving counters. They're picking the best 3 or 5 that they want. So they're not giving counters to everyone. So if you're not in the top percentage, they may pass you over. So don't play that game. Give your highest and best. Do escalation clauses. 3, this is where we're going to make our terms short and sweet. What do you mean escalation clauses? Well, instead of 17 days, we're going to say that we're going to have the house inspected in 10 days or 7 days. We're going to have the house appraised within 10 days. We're going to do our home inspections in a short term. We're going to do the lending conditions at a short term. All you need to do for that is to talk to your lender and say, hey, listen, instead of 17 days or 21 days, for our loan contingency to be removed, can we do this within 14 days? And a lot of times, if you're already directly underwritten, see how that goes back to the other tip? You can shorten your terms. Do your very best to close within 30 days and no longer than that. And come solid with all of those things. So when you're doing an escalation clause, you're speeding up the process so that the seller is not waiting around. They see that you're very, very serious. So that is number 3, adding your escalation clauses. Now, this one is controversial. So I'm going to tell you that we have done it in the past, but there have been some things that have come out with the National Association of Realtors that say this isn't really a good idea. So number 4 is controversial. It's something you need to talk to about your agent. With your agent about. It's writing a personal letter. Sometimes this can backfire on you. If you write a personal letter and you tell that seller way too much about them, you never know when they have little things in the back of their head that they don't believe that they're biased about, but are biased about because it's subconscious. So you want to be very careful about writing personal letters to your seller. Although it is a strategy, a lot of times they're not taking those into consideration in this market right now, especially in California and in Florida. So I'm licensed in 2 states and those don't seem to be pulling a lot of weight right now. So you want to be very careful about that because you don't want an outside situation that they're not thinking about forwardly, but maybe in their subconscious to fight against you. Then you also want to, if you can, if you're selling another home, and you have a large down payment, are you ready to pay for everything? You can offer an all cash deal. Yeah, that's not really prevalent when you have to have a loan, but there are products right now, and there are some companies that will allow you to offer a cash loan and then they refinance it. They finance it to you after the fact. So talk to your real estate agent. Talk to them about this company. You will pay a little bit more, but it allows you to compete. And I do have a company that does that. So that's something you have to sit down and really look at the terms about, but it is a possibility. When you feel like you can't compete with the loan and you really need cash, this company can step in and allow you to do that and then finance the home with you after you've closed on the deal. Finally, not finally, but be second to last, you want to drop contingencies if you can. Be very, very careful. Do not drop contingencies ever, in my personal opinion, on inspections. You always want to have your inspections done. Even if you shorten those terms like we talked about, instead of having it for 14, 20 days, shorten it to 7 to 10. Okay, because you still want to be able to have your inspections. In some cases, people are dropping their appraisals and their inspections and their loan contingencies in this market. So if that's something that you feel that you're comfortable with, you can talk to your agent about that. Now, me personally, I'm going to tell you, I always keep it real with you guys. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you dropping any contingencies that could possibly protect your earnest money. So this is a conversation that you need to have with your agent so that you know what strategy to take. Finally, they say you can skip the inspection. Yeah, controversy. You can in several different situations if you would like to. I don't advise it under any circumstances. Shorten those contingencies. But if a buyer backed out of a home and you have a previous inspection and you're comfortable with their inspection, which I don't advise, you can also use their inspections and be okay with that. I don't like it, but that's just some of the things that we're seeing here in the market. It's just a crazy thing. And don't get so caught up in the hype, guys, that you end up overpaying for a house. And finally, you want to be available. You need to be available to answer any questions of that seller. The listing agent will reach out to your buyer's agent and have long discussions with them. Have your lender also call after you have put an offer in on a home. Have them call the listing agent and assure them of their loan and answer any questions so that you and your team look the tightest and the best on the whole table of offers. Am I closing deals? I am. Am I using these strategies? I am using some. Are we winning out over other offers? Yes, but let me give you one final tip. Never be afraid to be backup. If you don't win, you tell your agent to tell the listing agent and the seller that you would be willing to be a backup offer so that if anything happens with that person who did win, you will be the first person that they call. I am literally in an escrow right now where we were backup because the first did not get it. The second person actually found another house and they had moved on. And then we were able to obtain that house. So in a seller's market, you have a lot to think about. But I hope that I've given you some valuable tools, especially if you're already out there looking. Be solid, be educated, be ready, and don't get frustrated because your house will always present itself when it's ready. I am Laura Key. This was a little longer one, but I think it warrants a longer video because a lot of people are struggling out there right now. Wherever you are in the United States of America, please make sure that you reach out to me. I am here to help. If you are looking for an agent, my network is strong. And I have been in the business since 2006. I love what I do, and I do what I love. And I'm here to give you a new set of keys. Again, my name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess, and I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is? Yeah, it really and truly is. Mwah. Sugar. Bye.